Let's talk about what it took to get this game up and running. Being a licensed game based on an already rebooted show, this game is trapped on the platforms it was made for. I tried emulating the PS2 version, but I ran into a major issue, mainly once I got to this one level. No matter what I did, I just could not move this block. So I went to try the Wii version, and originally I was just going to use the actual console since I have all three versions of PoE. But my PS2 version just doesn't work for some reason. The PSP had some issues we'll get into, and so I tried the Wii version. But oops, it just did not look good. So here we are, where I should have started. The Wii version emulated through Dolphin. Sorry for the rambly intro. With that done, let's just play the dang game already. Oh crap, the title screen actually has the theme song. I know that sounds like the bare minimum, but trust me, as we go on, you'll see that a lot of the games don't even do the bare minimum. Another basic thing, an excuse for why we're just stuck with two aliens to begin with. Again, seems like a very basic thing, but no, future games will ignore this. Yeah, that's why I didn't want the results of the Wii version, motion controls. It's about as sensitive as the average Twitter user on original hardware. One slight tapping of input a full combo. No, it won't. It'll only block the weakest of enemies. Oh shit, the giant robot from episode 1. So, two things. One, how does this work in universe? They try to explain why we're limited on aliens, so why not this as well? Secondly, this power-up is just actually useless once we get a later upgrade. It's useful for most of the game, but completely useless later on. How is it every time there's a strength alien, it always comes back to pushing blocks? Could they really not come up with anything else for them? This animation will loop until you clear the waves. Want an easy way to win most of the boss fights? It's weird the QTE requires you to be Ben. I get it early on because we don't have the quick exchange, but later on it's just kind of a nuisance. Another bit of the motion controls in the Wii version. Because I'm using the triggers, I can't swing as fast as it wants me to. This crystal being in the robot makes complete sense. It's Vilgax's own machine, so of course he'd want to power it up.
I don't get it. That thing knew us too well. Aren't most of Ben's foes trapped in the Null Void?
Gwen, this is season 3. So far there's Phil, Kevin, Vilgax, and that's it.
That's what I'm worried about.
Max, you're smarter than this! So why does Vilgax care so much about the Knights? Accelerate is the fastest character in the game. Now the game isn't really built to take advantage of it, but he does have the fastest ground speed. Trust me, it can be worse. So much worse. I wonder if this would still be considered canon to the modern lore. Because it's a cool tidbit, but given all the Dagon stuff, I do doubt it.
I don't think this system can protect against the speed of Accelerate.
Max, I don't think any security system could go up against Accelerate speed given he can stop time. One thing that this game nails that no other game does is the feeling of being powerless when you turn back into Ben. Going back to Ben feels like a real punishment for being reckless in battle, and since he takes more damage than the aliens, it's a lot easier to die when human. I just wish literally any of the games that copy this formula in the future would have ended up doing this. I'm fucking sorry. How large is the hitbox on this attack? Gee, I wonder who the other aliens are. I could never guess. And this is what I meant by Ben feeling like a punishment, because Ben's fucking dead. Conveniently breaking flaw. Shouldn't these guys have been on literally any mission where the Tennysons could conveniently show up at the same time as them? Because they also just stumbled into this one. Invisible wall is obvious. You should have made the block spawn in or something after I defeated the enemies. I'm glad this game does break up its consistent combat with moments of platforming or stretches of solving puzzles. With how long these levels can get later on, it's good to break this up. And it's something the future games wouldn't commit to, which makes this, somehow, still the best game of this particular style of Ben 10 game.
Making haste toward the area known as 51.
Insert Dagon joke here.
Area 51. This is where the government used to do all its covert alien research. This place has sure changed over the last 40 years.
No, this is where the government held alien prisoners. So this is another case of UF just ignoring something from Classic. Though, given this is a video game, it's fair to ignore, I guess.
A champion elite. It's like a tank, and he's nearly as tough.
How the hell can Ben survive a hit from this thing?
These laser-infused blades can cut through almost anything.
Uh-huh. Sure thing, old man. Oh, so suddenly we're in an AF the game level.
This drone is very dangerous. Destroy it before it powers up its photon array.
Max, this drone is as weak as the others. What the heck are you on about?
Hey, that containment unit was one of my original designs.
So, even the government is stealing from Max? This is a great reuse of assets. It helps to fill out the background while acting as foreshadowing, even if it doesn't make sense for the government to have some of these aliens. And that's an endless animation loop. What is going on with the shadow here? Obligatory elevator beat 'em up segment 1.
Ben Tennyson, I suppose I owe you thanks for exposing the incompetence of my underlings. I'll deal with them when I'm through with you.
And this is the best Enoch has ever been. This scene specifically.
It's not possible.
A perfect boss fight. Suddenly Mecha Enoch.
In order to weaponize the crystals, first he'd need to find a place to generate absolutely massive amounts of electrical current.
Max, how the hell do you know this? So, I've been holding off on this, but this game manages to capture the style of OS really well, especially in the cutscenes with how they animate people and do the backgrounds. Ah yes, the button. The conveniently placed button that overloads the metal power tower things. What, your power plant doesn't have a conveniently placed button to do that? I recharge so fast, I have to wonder who from the OV team storyboarded this scene. So, when the hell did Enoch get this crystal? Why would Vilgax ever give this crystal to him? Oh yeah, these mini levels. Fuck them. They don't really have anything to do more than pad out the level count. They don't have any real story, and they can be entirely skipped if you just pause and quit out. So I'm going to be singing them as they show up, unless they have something else to say. Suddenly Kevin! So it's implied this thing came from Wildvine's homeworld, with how some of its underlings are apparently related to Wildvine in some way. What the heck was it doing in the Null Void? But also, it was right next to Kevin where the portal opened. How convenient! Cannonball is fucking broken in this game. He hits hard, has massive hitboxes, and his attacks either don't use much energy, or use a lot, but also hits hard so it's worth the trade-off. There's almost never a good reason to not use him. Hey, Ben? What you doing over there?
Well, while you were busy causing the world's biggest traffic jam, Kevin bolted into the forest and Grandpa went after him. Diamond Head shards. Kevin must have gotten Grandpa.
So how did Kevin overpower Max? Furthermore, why take Max and not Gwen? What, did AF being in production at this time not let the team do that? See, Ben knows what's up.
These security protocols need everything done at once. I wonder if you can use Accelerate to cool the system.
And here I was thinking Gwen was meant to be the smart one. Nice conveniently placed clipping ramp in the middle of the forest. Can I go your path, Gwen? That one seems to be far less riddled with enemies than my path does.
There's no record of these creatures on the Plumber computers. It must be an uncategorized off-world species.
So what, is this from Flores Verdance, Methanos, or some other third random planet that also has animated plant life?
I'm in such a crush on you.
Little late on the info there, Gwen. Whose ship is this?
I got Grandpappy. Now what you gonna do?
I see you didn't change at all well in the Null Void.
Well, next time, why don't you try picking on someone born in the same century as you?
Ben, you were born in 1995, assuming OS takes place in 2005, like when the show premiered. And thus, nothing of note happened. We just ate up 2 levels. Nothing new happened in the plot other than the plant following Kevin out of the portal. Nothing. And the fact the plant got the crystal, I guess means that Vilgax was going after the plant thing while letting Kevin out was an accident? Which, if that was the case, why did Vilgax even do that given Kevin has already betrayed him before? I know in OV, Vilgax teams up with Albedo twice. It's just, is Vilgax terminally committed to just going to people who have completely fucked him over? Or he's fucked over?
Hey, listen to this.
The strange plant forms continue to spread all across the Northwest. Scientists believe it to be alien in nature. Stay indoors and avoid the infected areas at all costs.
Hey, another thing from Classic, the convenient radio broadcast. If this wasn't a licensed game, I'd sin this. But it's accurate to OS, so it gets a pass.
Splug au gratin. When I was with the plumbers, we genetically crossed a slug with a Brussels sprout. Well, they didn't make much of a bioweapon, but you won't find a better source of vitamins.
The plumbers actually wasted time and resources on this. Also, what kind of bioweapon were you trying to make with this? Also, how are these things still alive? In the OS lore, the Earth plumbers had been shut down since like 30 years ago, right? Was Max breeding them after the plumbers went dark? Did he keep them in the rust bucket? For a throwaway joke, these slugs add in a lot of weird continuity questions.
There's some similarities between this Mace Root's DNA and Wildfire's. This might be a species from his homeworld.
Hey, if we're going to get anything from a game, some new aliens from the alien homeworld is a pretty good thing to get. I just wish we got more of this stuff in future games. Still no idea why this part blocks me off from playing on the PS2 emulator.
They've reported another alien plant outbreak in Seattle.
Again, how the hell did the tiny alien sprout make it to Seattle? Did Vilgax throw it over there? Was he doing that while using Kevin as a distraction? Why is any of this happening? Why would Vilgax give an Omnitrix crystal to a random alien plant monster he can't guarantee the allegiance of? This isn't Vilgax, this is Dr. Eggman! That is just a sliding PNG.
Why am I surrounded by utter incompetence? I gave up the valuable crystals I stole from the Omnitrix so that the Tennyson boy would be destroyed. And the miserable peons that I so generously entrusted with those crystals are unable to do anything but fail me!
At least Reboot Vilgax had the excuse of being stuck on Earth. But like, what did you plan to accomplish with this? You already had the Null Void plan, why alert them to your presence? If you did nothing, they'd have no idea what's going on with the Omnitrix, and wouldn't be able to react to you creating a Super Null Void portal that would swallow the Earth. You had the wedding plan, and deliberately fucked it up yourself. Did somebody from UAF OV come in to write you for all this game? Apparently yes they did, because how the fuck are you here? Wasn't this a setup for Ghost Town? Also, really, Vilgax is willing to give up the Omnitrix to Ghost Freak? Wouldn't he try to, I don't know, take it for himself for throwing everything into the Null Void? Oh wait, I forgot. This is UAF OV Vilgax in disguise.
Big scary monster's gonna come get you.
Suddenly LeBowen.
There are slight traces of ectoneurite in these fang faces. Strange.
Hang face? The toys were out by this point. The term LeBowen was already in play.
These fang faces have developed a devastating sonic attack.
Isn't this a species-wide thing? Why make this a subspecies type thing when the werewolf and Ben Wolf are both shown to be able to have the howling ability? The Swinging has no right to feel as good as it does in the game.
Most modern-day horrors date back to a dimensional rift that opened in the late 1800s.
Dimensional rift? Only Unearth Phaetos is in another dimension, right? Did I misread the old toy cards? This actually makes sense to be a thing that the mummies to have, just a fun thing mummies do sometimes. Does it make biological sense? Buddy, that thing is made out of toilet paper. I don't think that we'll think too much about the biology of the mummies. Suddenly Hex! What? Why did Ghost Freak overshadow Hex? You know, other than to have another iconic villain for a boss fight, what do you mean the generic plant monster wasn't an iconic villain for the show? Obviously it had to be if we got Hex here, because we can only have iconic villains in this game, right?
Of course.
An excuse to play as Ben, despite being brief, is good to have. I never really noticed how many ramps are clipping into the walls in this game. Obligatory elevator fight number 2. More excuses to play as Ben. Scaffolding? Is this actually set after Season 4? Then why do some people use those Season 3 designs? Ben breaking into Mount Rushmore again. At least this time he didn't blow it up. This time.
Victor's one of the toughest creatures found on Ghost Freak's homeworld.
Okay, this one's just actually bullshit. Really? Victor? The whole species is called Victor? Did nobody buy the Inertoys? I know they weren't really the most popular aliens, but when you were making this game, did CN just not give you any of this stuff? The further this game goes on, the less and less of the good platforming shows up, and in return, you get more of being locked into a room to fight 100 enemies before moving on to doing the same.
It boosts negative energy to dimensional proportions. Adapted to fit a null void projector, there's no telling how large a portal could be created.
Wait, null void portals made out of negative energy? This game has some of the weirdest lore drops. Yes, the Ghost Freak tracker. The tracker made to track Ghost Freak, the thing that Max has used hundreds of times throughout the show. Another thing I have to praise this game for is that every location feels and looks unique, with a few exceptions. This isn't always a guarantee with Ben 10 games.
Ectonurian ally.
Ectonurian? Is Vilgax using slang?
Omnitrix energy. The bodies I inhabit are stronger than ever.
They're not. They're normal enemies with a glow effect. Also, it didn't fix your burning in sunlight issue, so what's the point? What is he even doing here? How does this work? Maybe they were only given model sheets from CN, because how did they make the knights almost perfect, but then fail at basically everybody else? Why does the light just vanish? And finally, just go intangible because...
Doofus, you've got the powers of a ghost!
You know what? No, this is accurate for Ghost Freak. He was always known for being a dumbass in the show.
Weird. The Omnitrix is finally at full power, but I can't access my other forms. It's like that last crystal had all its DNA stripped out.
So, Vilgax stripped out all the DNA. Good. Does that mean he's making his own anti-tricks, or... Oh, he's giving it to another random villain he's never met before. Of course he has. So, something that this game does that some of the future games wouldn't do is give you the ability to quick exchange, which, while that would make perfect sense for something like AF the game to do, they didn't. It allows the levels to become more dense with puzzles since you can switch between aliens. But, with this whole draining mechanic for the Omni energy, it also means quick changing during battle isn't all that encouraged, at least not yet. Why would you put two cards back to back? Is the level really that short?
Get moving, Ben. Accelerate will help pick up the pace.
They will never get me to use Accelerate now that I have Cannon Bolts. 4 minutes? I guess the level really was that short.
All these mutation experiments point to one man.
Dr. Animo.
You already said it was Animo early in the level. Did nobody read the script back before they started to record it?
I didn't see him. He could be anywhere. We'll have to split up. Gwen, you check the main lab.
Max, you're a highly trained plumber, and Ben can turn into aliens. Why would you tell Gwen to go and investigate on her own? Especially since this is before she gets magic, I'm like 90% sure. Otherwise, yeah, that happens. Clancy? Is this trying to tie into Negative Sound where Clancy was mutated by Animo? If so, when the hell does this game take place? Boss fight. So...
Unfortunately for you, I'm the hands-on type.
tear through solid steel. Avoid it at all costs.
These things have such an amazing design. I'm kinda disappointed they didn't show up in any of the shows. Sure, they hit hard, but tear through solid steel? They can't even tear through a 10-year-old. You can see this level switch to its destroy version before animals even shut the doors.
Never asked this, but is the rust bucket seaworthy?
Are you kidding me? That's the original all-terrain vehicle you're talking about. But just in case, grab a couple of buckets out of the storage hatch.
So this was a problem with OS in general, but is the Rust Bucket actually a hyper-advanced RV that has the ability to jet off at like 200 miles an hour? Or does flushing the toilet somehow affects the radio?
I'm proud of you, Ben. Your cousin needs you, and you can do it.
Some good character work can go a long way. The gorilla suit from 10K? Is this because the game was made during Season 3 and that was the most current design at the time? Damn it, I can't cheese this one and actually have to engage with the boss. How dare they make me play this game?
Grandpa! Ben!
I love seeing these two being more caring for each other. Even if both of their egos? Sure, let's go with that. Their egos make it so they can't admit it.
Null energy levels are rising everywhere. Apparently, a large portal just ripped open over the National Mall.
Should we stop? We have to get to Washington.
I don't like leaving those people in danger.
You two keep going. I'll catch up in a flash. And try not to embarrass me while I'm gone.
Good character work. Are we finally out of the mid-game mess?
With the power flux module of the Omnitrix repaired, its energy storage should be almost limitless.
What, did Animal not have the DNA crystals? Why not? Wouldn't he need them to make his hybrids? Or is this an excuse to keep us at 5 aliens? It's that second one, isn't it?
Detrovites. These guys are as tough as they are ugly.
So, you could get the name Detrovite, but you couldn't get the species name of the Halloween aliens. I love the backdrop of the Novoid portals opening. Does it make much sense? Not really, given the portals suck things in, but it looks cool. Stun locked into falling into a Novoid portal. This is the best game of the series.
More portals. All communications are down. No way we're getting any official assistance on this one.
But how can we get to Vilgax out in space without the government's help?
We could just go and steal some rockets from Cape Canaveral. Given the circumstances, I don't see why they'd mind.
Don't be an idiot, Ben. We can't just bust into a highly secure space launch facility and... Grandpa?
And now we're going to rob NASA. That's the Grandpa Max I know and love.
They probably went home to be with their families. We have to get to the experimental propulsion labs.
Quick, hang a right.
Ben, how do you know this? What's 6-6 doing at NASA?
The strongest Detrovites have honed their skills in the galactic arena.
Now this works as a callback to the show, and this is believable. We even saw Detrovite back in Season 2. But then follow up, why the hell are any of these people at NASA? Yeah, this arena. Fuck this arena. It's too small and cramped for the tanks they throw at you. Why are you just standing here? What, were you waiting specifically for Ben? Or were you just observing the perfect scenery through that massive glass?
Okay, we found the rockets. Now what?
Get me my welding helmet.
Oh, are you serious? You want me to believe the Rust Bucket is space-worthy when earlier this very game we couldn't guarantee that water would stay out of it? You know how a vacuum works, right? Oh shit, yeah, Forearms hadn't had a transformation sequence yet. Is the final boss fight really the right time to throw this in when the rest was in the first half? I've been waiting to say this, but why are some of the bad guys randomly in those Season 3 designs? Ghost Freak, Vilgax, and Animal all use those Season 3 designs either from 10K or Be Afraid of the Dark. But like, why? It's why I keep saying this game likely takes place during or not too long after Season 3. But now, Mount Rushmore is still being worked on, which makes me think it's post-10? An episode that wasn't even out when this game came out? And remember, OS episodes only had like 4 months of production at most. Here's the image of Duncan saying that. With that being said, and acknowledging this game is an alternate universe, where the fuck is this game meant to take place? fuck is going on? Sure, Vilgax has lasers coming out of his hands. Why the fuck not? How do you keep pulling new powers out of your ass? Is the Omnitrix crystals doing this? Do you have the power of Amphibian thrilling through your veins? If so, that's impossible. Amphibian wasn't in the tricks yet. Ending it with Ben's human's form was probably the best way you could end this. The Master Control showcase before this makes ending it with Ben's human form feel that much more cathartic, especially since Ben is worthless in gameplay. I'll give the game this much. Vilgax figuring out how to make this whole thing work does further push the idea that Vilgax knows a lot about the Omnitrix. I have my own issues with this, but that's the issue with the show, not the game. For being written by an outsider to the series, he did an amazing job to make this feel like OS.
Tennyson, I will return.
Uh-huh. Is this in the show or is it setting up Vilgax attacks? How the fuck did y'all get lost in the null void? That's it. That's the final post-credits level of this game. And that's the end of Protector of Earth. The Tennyson's trapped in the null void with Vilgax being rebuilt. Was this meant to set up some sort of sequel? So, if this part seems very last second, that's because it is. I'm about to go on a holiday, so I need to get this over and done with. But something I forgot to mention was that PSP. You see, every version of this game has some unique difference to it. The PS2 version is in 4x3, the Wii version is overall superior but has motion controls, and the PSP version has this problem where because it's on a 1GB disc, nobody ever talks in the boss cutscenes. It's a weird thing to leave out, but if it was going to be anything, I guess that would be it.